Welcome back to Tabletop Titans and another Titan Tactics. The Grey Knights have seen many ups and downs in rapid succession over 9th edition. Here's everything you need to know about Grey Knights in Arks of Omen, and what we think you might expect moving forward. Let's start off with the good news for the Grey Knights. The new Arks of Omen detachments is great for them. They love more HQs and they also love more interceptors, both of which are getting some nice other buffs we'll talk about soon. Probably the biggest improvement to the Grey Knights in this Arks of Omen series is the fact that they're going to get a number of points decreases. Your average list is going to go down 100 points. Cheaper units means more units, which means more combat squads. The Demon Slayer Warlord trait saw some much needed improvements. It now ignores demonic save rather than a invulnerability save. This of course is meant to bring it in line with the new Chaos Demons book, where there are no invuln saves and it's all demon saves. Now for the bad news for Grey Knights. The Psychic Secondary saw a number of hits both in the generic and the Grey Knight specific ones. They're going to be a little bit tougher to do, and you're going to have to think twice about how you build your list and how you play them. Of course, Armored Contempt is also going away for Grey Knights, and this is going to be a big hit in durability to the style of Grey Knights that are currently played. However, don't fret too much. Many of their matchups have been actually improved by the lack of Armor Contempt. So overall, not the end of the world. So let's talk about points. There are points drops across the boards, with many characters going down from 5 to 15 points. Additionally, your strikes and your interceptors are both going to drop 2 points, reverting some of the previous increases when these units were at their peak. And to top it off, many big upgrades such as side cannons on infantry and teleporters on Dread Knights are now totally free. So again, more points, more models. Sounds great, right? Let's take a look at how secondaries are changing in the Arks of Omen. Teleport Assault saw a welcome improvement. You're now going to get 5 points every time you complete it rather than 4. This takes your typical scoring from 8 to 10 up to 10 to 15. And it means you only need to complete it 3 times to get that max score. It's a very welcome and very powerful improvement. The Warpcraft category, however, saw a number of hits, starting with Purifying Ritual, which now is a warp charge cost of 6, up from 5. This might not seem much, but given the fact that you want to actually be casting this multiple times a turn on multiple objectives, it is going to start causing problems in your army. Of course, with points being cheaper, you can afford more squads to double down on objectives and really ensure you score this when you most need it. Warp Ritual saw an increase from 3 to 4, so this is probably the least biggest change, but something to consider. You're going to have to do that pesky CP reroll just a little more often than before. Psychic Interrogation is probably out of the game plan entirely. Now you are required to have line of sight from the victim to the caster, which is just simply too easy to manipulate by your opponent, and I wouldn't mess around with this, especially when you have other more viable psychic secondaries. So what do we think we can expect from Grey Knights in the near future? This is the Titan Take. Grey Knight damage output is in a fantastic place. They have lots of power weapons that are really going to take advantage of Armor of Contempt being gone, and they're probably the best army for Mortal Wounds output point for point. Sorry, Tyranids. Build-wise, we're definitely looking at Grey Knights reverting back to an Interceptor and Dread Knight heavy build. Interceptors are very fast, flexible, lethal, and saw new points reductions. And the Dread Knights have always been interesting, but they, 1, are not going to suffer from losing Armor of Contempt because they never had it, and 2, they have lots of AP 1 and 2 weapons that are happy to see Armor of Contempt leave. So we think these 2 units are back on the menu in a big way. And of course, the additional hero slots granted from an Arks of Omen detachment means you can lean into Hero Hammer with a number of very cheap, very lethal heroes such as Castell and Crow that are going to be punching way above their weight bracket. So with that in mind, let's take a look at a fun list that leans into the strengths of Grey Knights in the current edition. We're focusing, of course, on all 4 character slots, balanced between killy and buffing characters. We're just taking a single unit of strikes for a bit of native objective secured, and of course, 30 interceptors, likely to be combat squatted, and 3 Dread Knights. Points efficiency is the name of the game here, with MSU, cheap units, things that I don't care about losing Armor of Contempt, and also just a number of squads to swarm points and score those secondaries. So there we are. Again, we're very curious what you guys think, so let us know in the comments below. We think overall, Grey Knights are going to be pretty happy with these changes, and if you have any ideas, also let us know. We have lots of content covering the rest of the Arks of Omen changes, and there's no need to be out of date on any of it. So take a look at that, and like and subscribe if you found it to be useful. That's going to be it for me. I'll catch you guys next time on the Tabletop. Bye!